I actually thought this time around she would come out with like the shade 425, which would be perfect for me. If Fenty came out with a 425, you guys, that would be my perfect shade. Alright guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today's video, y'all, I've been so excited. I really have, because you guys know whenever I reviewed a Fenty foundation, I would always talk about the shade 425 and how I would wish for Fenty to go ahead and come out with that shade, because 420 was too light for my skin, but 430 was too deep and a little bit orangey. I just needed an in-between shade. So it finally happened. It came out last week and I am so excited, and shout out to my supporter for letting me know, because I had no clue till she let me know. So I did a poll on YouTube if you guys want to go ahead and see this video, and you guys wanted me to review it for you. So I am super excited. Now with this video, I'm going to go ahead and do a comparison between 420 and 425. Just do half my face of each of them, just to see the difference and see what it's given. All right, because I'm super excited, but low-key nervous because the new shade in 425 has an undertone of warm olive. So I was like, I've never heard of a deeper skin tone have an olive undertone, so I don't know what to expect. Honestly, I'm just going into this, you know, with a open mind, but nonetheless, you guys, I am so excited to try this out. So if you're interested, make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So like I mentioned to you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do half my face of each of the foundations, just to see what they look like on the skin, give you guys my honest opinion in terms of the color. You guys already know how this foundation performs. It's nothing new, and like I mentioned to you guys, I wasn't in love with the Fenty foundation. There was a lot of hype around it, but it just never did anything so like crazy for my skin. But nonetheless, you know, it's kind of hard to tell, is it because of the color or is it the formula? Like there was just so many things going on, especially because the color wasn't my exact match. I just never reached for it. So now that she has 425, I'm like, all right, let's see what it's given, give it a true honest opinion. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I already went ahead and primed my face. So let's just jump into it, you guys. So typically I would go ahead and read like the claims of the foundation, but you guys already know it is a matte foundation, lasts pretty much on the skin for a long time, things like that. So we don't need to focus on that too much. So what I'm gonna do first is swatch both of them side by side on the back of my hand, just to see the difference right away before I put it on my face. And just being honest, this 420 foundation I have had since Fenty came out with their foundation, okay? And it's been years. So it's been a long time, and it's probably honestly expired, but it is what it is at this point. So let's go ahead and swatch 420 for those who have never tried it or seen it. So this is 420 right here, okay? It's like a very neutral foundation. And honestly, I am, you know, more so of a neutral girl when it comes to my skin tone, but still, this one is a little bit too light for me. So now I'm gonna see what 425 is given on the skin. I'm so like nervous, but excited. I just hope it's everything I imagine and more. So let's swatch this one. Okay. Oh. Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay. So right away on camera, it seems like two completely different shades. Like this one on top is 420, right? But this one is 425. So it honestly looks like 425 should be darker than 420, you would think, but the undertones are completely different. Hope you guys can see that on camera. Now, mind you, my foundation is old. I don't think it's oxidized or anything like that, but this is what it looks like side by side so far. And I don't really see the warm olive undertone. At first, I thought it would be like super green, you know what I mean? That's what I think of when I think of olive, but it's not doing that. It's a very nice neutral foundation so far. So on the right side of my face, I'm going to use the shade 425. See what that looks like all over. And I'm not doing a full face today, you guys. I just want to compare the two colors since you guys already know how the foundation performs throughout the day. So I don't need to do all that. But we will see what this looks like on the skin. So blending this out, I will say right away, it looks super yellow. But let's just keep going, all right? And it's been so long since I've used the Fenty foundation, but it feels so much better now. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a primer I'm using. I can't really tell, but it doesn't feel as watery as before. I believe back in the day, I just thought it had a lot of separation on the skin, right? But when she came out with Fenty Beauty Hydrated Foundation, that one I love. I love the formula on that one because I don't know, it just blended into the skin a little bit easier than this one, of course, because this is a matte foundation. But so far, it's performing really well on the skin. And don't forget the ears, y'all. The ears will expose you, honey. I'm telling you right now, I feel like people's ears just burn a little bit more or are a little bit darker, you know, than their skin tone. So always make sure you go over your ear. But this is what one layer looks like on the skin. I feel like I need a little bit more coverage in this, so I'm going to go back in with the second layer. So going back in, we're going to blend this out. And I feel like right away when you apply it on your skin, you're like, ooh, this is a little bit too light. But when you let it dry down, you guys, it just like, I don't know, I feel like it matches a lot better. So initially, you're going to be a little bit scared when you see this on your skin, but just let it sit for a second and it'll dry down. So here is 425 on the skin. I feel like it matches really well, especially with my chest area. You guys know my neck is a little bit darker, not too much I can do about that, but I do apply a little bit of foundation on there. But nonetheless, it matches my skin, I feel like, especially my chest area, really, really nicely. So boom, I'm excited about that. So we're gonna let it sit onto the skin for a little bit, but while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and apply the shade 420. This is described as a tan to deep skin with warm undertone. So it doesn't really say if it's a orange undertone or red undertone. It's just for warm undertones, all right? Now, I feel like they did that because they wanted a universal shade for a lot of people, because 420 was like that shade. Like, if you weren't 430 or whatever, a lot of people were using 420 pretty much. So yes, so let's apply this one and see what it's given, because it's been so long since I've tried this, and it's so old, you guys, that even when I apply it, the consistency isn't as watery. It's a little bit thick. So this is really old, but totally fine. So what I'm gonna do is apply this onto the left side of my face and see what it looks like. And right away when I apply it, it reminds me of like back in the day. I just remembered, like, when I applied this, I was like, ooh, it's like almost perfect, but it's a little bit too late, you know what I mean? But just like the other side, we're gonna let it settle into the skin and then give an honest opinion. But this is what it looks like on this side. All right. And this foundation, y'all, listen, I always told you guys, like, Fenty foundations are not like my favorite in terms of formula. Like, I love how many shades she has. I really appreciate that. But it's just never like my go-to. But trying it today, I'm just like, it feels so good on the skin and it looks so natural and beautiful. I love it. All right. So let me go over the ears a little bit, just to cover that up. But this is 420. So this is 420 on the face right here. All right. I feel like it looks so good, y'all. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, like, the difference between the two. Honestly, if I didn't tell you guys, I did half and half. They both look equally good on my skin. Like, I could wear both. But here's 420. And then over here we have $4.25. So on camera, y'all, I swear they look the same. Like, they really do. My skin, honestly, my skin tone is one of those that like can honestly work because I do have a neutral undertone, so it can kind of pull both ways. But they both look good, so it's hard to say. But now what I'm gonna do is just really let them sit on my skin again. But what I'm gonna do is apply a little bit of concealer from Fenty. I have the shade 410, just to give my under eyes a little bit of a highlight, since I'm not doing a full face today. But I do want you guys to get the full picture in case you are wondering. But I do love Fenty's concealers. They do have that gel-like consistency, so it really just lasts a long time on my skin, and it also just blends really nicely too. And then of course we want to go ahead and set the face just a little bit lightly. I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter powder in the shade Honey. All right, so I went ahead and did the foundation, applied the concealer, and set my face. So again, you guys, I'm just gonna give you one more chance to really look at both of them. So this is $4.25 right here. Hopefully y'all can see that. And then this is $4.20. All right, so I didn't contour, I didn't bronze, none of that. So keep that in mind. But honestly, you guys, like, they kind of look the same to me. So I will say, when I did swatch them on the back of my hand, you can honestly see the undertone between the two. If your undertone isn't neutral like mine, you may honestly prefer one over the other. But if you do have a neutral skin tone like mine, you can honestly wear both and make it work, okay? Like, say I went ahead and contoured, did some bronzer, all of that. You couldn't even tell a difference. Like, I can't even tell a difference right now between the two, which is crazy. So if you were to ask me which one is my favorite, I will say definitely the $4.25. I feel like it just has like that undertone that I really like. It's a little bit easier to work with. $4.20 sometimes can look a little ashy on me, okay? I remember it in pictures, like when I used to take pictures with flash, you can kind of tell like it's a little bit ashy, where I feel like $4.25 has a little bit more, you know, oomph in it. And then lastly, if you are worried about the warm olive undertone, I don't know what that means. Riri, Fenty, let me know, because I don't really see the green in there. But yeah, regardless, you guys, they're both really good. I'm so glad that Fenty finally, you know, went ahead and came out with a middle shade, since we've been asking for it for a long time. So yeah, that's just my final thoughts on it. And like I told you guys, in the past, I wasn't in love with this foundation, like, at all. But tell me why it looks so good on my skin. It could have been the primer I was using, but I don't know. Back in the day, I feel like it was super watery and just kind of separated. Unless she's changed the formula, it just looks really nice on the skin. Like, I really do like it, truly. So again, sorry about that, y'all. I know I was talking bad about it before, but it looks beautiful on the skin. So yes, let me know your thoughts down below if you went ahead and tried the foundation out. If you did, let me know if you like the new shade. If you don't, things like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Cannot wait to see you guys' thoughts on this, because I know y'all were excited for this video. So hope you enjoyed it. But yes, make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.